So I would say that my musical career began about fifth grade. I was recruited for a musical for the high school where I grew up. The choral director needed children to play in Hello Dolly. So I was quickly recruited for that, and that was my first stage experience, which I absolutely fell in love with music and performing during that very first thing, even as a child, and in a tiny role in a musical. But my choral career really started in middle school as a sixth grader. And it can be intimidating because as a sixth grader you don't know anything. But just from the very first piece that we performed, I was just absolutely in love with choral music and wanted to continue with that for such a long time. And just the art form was wonderful. Progressing on through the years, my repertoire got more extensive. I was in more shows, starting to get more roles. But my conducting career, or the interest in conducting, really happened, I would say, my freshman year. The fall concert of my freshman year, my high school director started talking about a student conductor at one of our concerts, and they conduct the senior mixed choir. And once I saw that, that's when I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I need to do. But I waited a while before I asked about it. But I still did my freshman year. Went into my choral director's office and I said, I want to be the student conductor of the chorale. And she said, Philip, you haven't even made the chorale yet. So after I auditioned for the chorale, I waited about a semester, and she came out to me and she said, it's time for you to get your opportunity to conduct. So I got my first piece. It was Philip Stopford's Ave Verum. I remember it very vividly. And that was the first piece that I conducted. She taught me basic patterns, and I started researching and watching good conductors like Gerard Schwartz and Simon Rattle, Robert Shaw, Andre Thomas, and I caught the bug, as they would say, the infamous conducting bug, and just started just really building that skill and really loving that, and kept performing musicals and choral music through high school, got to college, and that's when everything started to take off. And I've been blessed with a lot of experiences so far, but I didn't get to conduct much my freshman year because as a freshman music student, I kind of took a back seat and wanted to make sure that I wasn't overstepping my boundaries as a freshman music major, as a bunch of people were so much older than I, knew so much more than I, but I just wanted to be on the podium, even in opera rehearsals when I was studying my parts and getting ready to perform. I wanted to be on the other side and be on the podium and be conducting the orchestra and the singers, and didn't really get that opportunity until my sophomore year when I started conducting classes. And so what I did was when I started conducting classes, I went into the director of choral activities office, and I told him that, or I asked him rather, I want podium time, as much podium time as I possibly can get, because I'm thinking about getting my master's in conducting. And basically his mantra was, ask and you shall receive. So I got a piece and got ready, and it's for the men's chorus. And so I got to conduct the men's chorus, and the preparation for that was a lot different than the preparation in high school. I had more of a guidance system in place for high school conducting, where my teacher really just taught the parts and did everything. And then once the piece was learned, then I would step up and conduct. And when you get to college and you ask for the podium time, that means you're the teacher as well. So I had to teach all the parts to the chorus, and then had to put it together with piano and oboe, which was a bit of an intimidating experience, but it was a wonderful experience to learn, and absolutely just enjoyed it. there's nothing like standing in front of an ensemble, but and then just everything, the conducting opportunities just kept going after that, and it's great. I now get to lead rehearsals with the chamber choir, which is the premier ensemble at Auburn University, and I get to conduct them on a regular basis, which is wonderful and beautiful to work with such talented musicians and really get to create such music at your fingertips. It's awe-inspiring, and this art form is just absolutely beautiful in every way. Most would say that my conducting experience is limited because of how young I am. But so as a young conductor, you really have to focus on making sure that the fundamentals are there. And in conducting class, when I had previous podium time experience, I had to make sure that the fundamentals were there. I had to make sure that everything that I was already doing beforehand really worked and made sense with the gestures that I was giving, with everything that I was doing, and making sure all my patterns were correct first was really the big thing. But also making sure that my cues made sense and other things like that. Really, I guess the best thing that helped with my conducting experience was I was offered a church music job, a choir director job. It's a small choir, but it really helped in the learning process of an ensemble because you don't have much teaching experience, I have an SSAA choir at my church, and really they just sing two-part unison music most of the time, just because of how small they are. But it's been a good experience, and things that I've learned in conducting, or things that I want to try, they're so willing to learn, and they're so willing to be there and be the guinea pigs, as I called them, and they've really been a blessing in that way, to really help me just hone that craft and really just make sure I'm doing things right before I take it to other things, to the chamber choir, to the men's chorus, to other ensembles that I conduct. My church choir has been a great foundation to make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. So I've been fortunate to have so many experiences here at Auburn University with the choral program, with the voice program, and performance in operas, and at my church job, which is such a blessing and such an experience to get all these things mixed into one. Conducting is a passion of mine that I guess I've always had, from watching it from the very beginning, and always longing to be on the podium. So it's great.